Fort Cochin, or Fort Kochi as it is better known, lies at the mouth of 7 major rivers in the Indian state of Kerala. It is located on the southwest coast of India, part of the Arabian Sea, 1,536 kilometres south of Mumbai. A lot of maritime traffic passes through the narrow channel, especially fishing boats, as it is a busy port. Unusual fishing contraptions can be seen adorning the shoreline. These are very large fishing nets that were invented in China. It's fascinating to just stand on the shore and watch the cavalcade of vessels pass you by. In the distance, you can see the major city of Cochin. Fort Kochi has a very interesting mix of architecture. That's because it was first settled by the Portuguese back in 1500 and was the first European settlement in India. Well, the Europeans couldn't help themselves, so in 1663 the Dutch knocked off the Portuguese and the Dutch East India Company took over. Then the Brits took over in 1790 and stayed around for a lot longer. When you visit Fort Kochi, you can't help but notice that not everyone thrived under the British. Even the cows gave up on them. Yes, I don't blame you for looking perplexed. And I will stay out of your way. One of the things you notice about Fort Kochi is that there are quite a number of Christian churches there. Of course, the Portuguese took Catholicism there, the Dutch took their Calvinistic faith there, and the Brits just had to force Anglicanism on the poor locals. India is a confronting country, particularly when you witness people performing manual labour in industries that are more automated elsewhere, such as laundries. Then again, they do need to provide jobs for many people. Seeing women performing hard manual labour in poor conditions was pretty hard to take. However, Kerala has an elected communist government which does provide services that are hard to access in other parts of India. Not good, but not as dire as elsewhere. One of the best shopping areas in Fort Kochi is called Jewtown because there is a Jewish synagogue there. It's fascinating to drive down the narrow streets. The area around Princess Street and Fosse Road is also quite good, but a bit more touristy. I'm not much of a shopper, but I don't mind a bit of a browse. There are also good restaurants and cafes in this area serving typical Indian delights. One of the things I really liked was the street art, which adorns a lot of walls. Some of it is whimsical, although the humidity does its bit to age the artist's work. No doubt, some is political too. I highly recommend crossing the narrow channel on the Vaipin ferry. It's a bit crowded, but it's a hoot and a very interesting trip. The journey only takes a few minutes, but it is a good experience. The Vaipin Fort Kochi Jangkar ferry connects the southern tip of Vaipin Island with the northern tip of Fort Kochi. This is all part of the Ernakulam area. I did a bit of sightseeing and visited Valapu Beach, which is about 6 kilometres north of the ferry terminal. It was midweek, so there weren't too many people there. And there were a few boats on the horizon. Apparently, the beaches here can get busy. The water was a bit choppy and I didn't see anyone swimming. Back in Fort Kochi, the net fishermen were out in force. I'd seen similar nets to these on Hainan Island in southern China, but they were a lot smaller than the ones in Kochi. As it was getting late in the day, the foreshore was starting to get more crowded. It looked like tour groups were arriving and stall holders were setting up. I assume those fish came directly from the nets. The locals were really friendly and welcoming. I could tell that it was about to get lively. Fort Kochi really is a quite interesting port. People were waiting for ferries. Although the passenger ferries weren't too chaotic. Fort Kochi is a really colourful place. There is a mixture of cultures. And I really did enjoy my stay.